Hello, this is Felice Mueller from the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you are watching the Video Voters Guide or listening to our podcast. We are here today to talk with candidates running in the May 20th, 2025 special election. We are grateful for the Carol and Velma Sailing Foundation, the League of Women Voters Education Fund, the Weiss Foundation, and our media partner, Metro East Community Media. With me is Stephanie Engelsman, running for Portland Public School District Director, Zone 6. Welcome, Ms. Engelsman.
Hello.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you are running for this office.
Well, first of all, thank you for the time and thank you to the voters for listening. My name is Stephanie Engelsman and I'm running for Zone 6. I'm a parent, I'm a coach, and I'm an advocate. I'm a career public defender and have spent the last 20 years working in that system, advocating on behalf of families, youth, and children involved in the juvenile foster care and juvenile delinquency system. I'm a lawyer. I'm used to understanding laws, interpreting laws, working with laws, amending them, and making sure that they work best for our community. I'm a parent. I have 3 children in Portland Public School Elementary School, so we'll be in the PPS system for a while. And I'm a coach. I have the honor of coaching 5th grade girls. They don't all identify as girls, but we don't have an option. 5th grade girls soccer, and I'm an Oregon Battle of the Books coach for the last 3 years. I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you.
Terrific. What is your understanding of the primary functions and responsibilities of a public school board member?
There are very unique and specific roles to a school board member. The budget, being responsible fiscally and knowing the budget ins and outs very well. Hiring and analyzing and making sure that our superintendent is good and doing what we need her, Dr. Kimberly Armstrong in this case, to be strong for our district. Building policy and supporting policy that is in the best interest of all of our students and moving forward with our community. And being in communication, strong communication with all of the stakeholders, from parents to teachers to special ed advocates to members in the community who have an interest and in our community thriving and our public schools thriving.
And how would you address the issues facing the district's schools that you consider the most urgent?
The most urgent issues to me, of course, are budget. We're facing another $40 million budget crisis in Portland Public Schools after already having more cut over the last few years. Another issue is enrollment, and near and dear to my heart as a juvenile public defender is chronic absenteeism, which is high in Oregon, among one of the highest in the country. And of course, safety of our marginalized students. Under executive orders over the last few months, many of our students are feeling unsafe and scared at coming to school, and their families aren't. And so I would be looking in all of those arenas to being a voice, a strong voice, and an advocate to make sure that our leaders are fully funding Oregon and PPS schools, that we are finding those marginalized, vulnerable students who have just been lost and no one's working with, and making sure that we take a strong stand to support our LGBTQI community, our immigrant community, our BIPOC community, so that those children, those families feel safe and supported in coming to school.
You are listening to the Video Voters Guide interview and podcast of Ms. Stephanie Engelsman, who is running for the Portland Public School District Director, Zone 6. What are your thoughts, Stephanie, about student use of personal cell phones while school is in session?
Thank you for that question. I absolutely do not agree with students using cell phones during school. It is distracting both to them and to the students in the classroom with them, and to the hardworking teachers and teachers' aides in the classroom. That said, we have created a community where we rely on phones and where parents are used to being able to reach their students. And so I would want to work on a system where students are off and away, their phones, their watches, their tablets during instructional time. But I understand that we live in a community where most adults don't give their phones up for multiple hours at a time, and that we look forward to being able to access information and members of our family. And so I would advocate for a strong off and away policy, but making sure that students, for example, high school students who are leaving during the lunch hour, are taking that safety net with them. I have learned in my career as a public defender that banning things does not usually work, and that better is an education system so that we educate people about why off and away is the safe and best method while keeping communities feeling supported.
How would you ensure educational equity?
Uh, well, I would make sure that I'm communicating with our Title I schools and our teachers and our educators in them, and in other schools where there are vulnerable students who just frankly need more support than some of the more affluent students. I would make sure that I have a transparent and open communication with all parents everywhere so that everyone understands that what is best for one student and one school is not always the same. But we reach an equitable school system when we make sure that all of our students are getting what they need because we all rise when we all thrive. I have loved watching our Portland City councilors having regular town hall meetings in the evenings on the weekends so that community members can come and have their voices heard. And in my experience as a public defender and in courts, I know that when people feel heard, they respect and they feel more confident about the system. And so my goal would be to having an equitable, open conversation and transparency that people understand the decisions that are being made.
Terrific. And what role should the school board play in a threatened or actual strike of school employees?
Well, the first role, of course, is the safety and well-being of our students, first and foremost, and the staff that are there. Communication between those parties, involvement in that communication, transparency, public communication, setting a contingency plan for students so they have an idea of how they're going to learn and what they're going to learn, negotiating with the union, mediating dispute resolution, and participating actively and honestly and transparently in that. And fiscal responsibility, because of course we have a duty to make sure that any agreements entered into are fiscally responsible and sustainable for the future.
This concludes our video voters guide and podcast interview of the League of Women Voters of Portland of Ms. Engelsman, thank you, who is running for the Portland Public School District Director Zone 6.
Thank you.
You bet. Election Day is Tuesday, May 20th. To find additional election resources, please visit the League of Women Voters of Portland's website, lwvpdx.org, and then exercise your right to vote. Your voice matters. Thank you so much for your interest.